To jumpstart your Amazon wholesale business, you're going to need to find profitable distributors that you can work with for the long term and establish relationships. The hardest part about getting started with this business is actually finding where should I be buying these products from. So if you're looking for wholesalers, the bottom line is they're actually all over and they're looking to sell to people just like you. The problem is that a lot of you aren't looking in the right places or are overcomplicating this process. Now there's 3 steps involved with actually building out your list of wholesale distributors. And the first step is actually researching and finding them. The second step is actually opening accounts with them. And the third step is placing orders with them. It's a 3-step process. Specifically in this video, we're going to be talking about the first step of how you could be finding profitable wholesale distributors to jumpstart and scale your Amazon FBA business. So a lot of you might be wondering, where are we finding the profitable wholesalers? And a lot of the questions that we get is, I can't find profitable wholesalers, or give me profitable wholesalers. And the bottom line is they're actually right in front of you. We all have computers or even phones that you could be looking up different companies that you can be working with. The number one way to find wholesale distributors is actually by using Google to do research and find these profitable distributors. So if you want to master this process, you need to sit down in front of your computer and start to know, what should I be searching, where should I be searching, and finding and making a list of them. So my number one recommendation after you watch this video is to open up an Excel sheet and make an Excel list that you're going to use for years to come. You're going to add in certain things to this sheet, such as the distributor's name, their website, contact info, the category that they work with, and probably their location would be pretty helpful. My recommendation would be to start in your area and then start to branch out as time goes on. So we're going to jump inside my computer and I'm going to show you what you need to be searching on Google to find profitable wholesale distributors. So first, I have an incognito window open, so that way you actually don't get confused by some of my prior research, and we can do some brand new research. And we're going to be doing it in a new city that I actually don't work with / live in. So that way it can help you know that this works for any city throughout the entire US. So something that you want to look in and use this template to go forward is category first. So health and beauty wholesale distributors. And we're going to do Washington. Now, I have no idea what Washington looks like. I have no idea what the wholesale game looks like in Washington. And frankly, I'm from nowhere near Washington. That's why I think this is a healthy search to kind of do this with first time. So now that we're in here, one thing that you could use is Yellow Pages to actually find some wholesalers, because they do have a good amount of beauty products and wholesalers. They don't have beauty products. They do have a lot of wholesalers that could be on Yellow Pages, and it's a good search that a lot of people just kind of skip over because they've been told to do so on YouTube, but I think it is actually pretty helpful. Now, I would ignore a lot of the sponsored posts on here when you open this up, and you want to start kind of somewhere around here where there's no sponsored posts going on. Now, something to keep in mind with the beauty category is there are going to be some distributors that require you to have a beauty license in order to work with them. We're going to have to skip over those because we don't have beauty licenses. Maybe there's some hairstylists that are watching that do Amazon wholesale. You're in a great spot. Unfortunately, for the rest of us, we're beat in that sense. Now, as we scroll down, what you're going to want to do, open up some of these distributors in new tabs. And then you're going to want to look through their page and see what kind of stuff that they're selling. We're looking for some of the name brands. We can do some spot checks with Amazon, but we're not doing any contacting here. Strictly, we're trying to add distributors to our Excel sheet and have a good basis to actually have some research on. You don't want to contact a single distributor until you have at least 100 to 200 distributors on your list. Do all the research in one spot, then do your contacting in the next time. So let's just see, it looks like this is actually for chairs and beds and stuff like that. That's not really what we're going to be looking at, so we're going to move on from here. Spend maybe 30 seconds to a minute on each one to improve your efficiency. Western Beauty Supply, there we go, that looks better. Now they don't have a website on here, so we can go and type in Western Beauty Supply. These guys are in Seattle, they have a Facebook, and this is probably something that we would be interested in. Beauty Supply, western.beautysupply@gmail. So these guys don't even have a website. That's not a bad thing necessarily. It doesn't mean they're not legitimate. It just means they're small. And the nice part about that is most of the competition is going to skip right over this. So you might want to add some of their contact info in here. We saw that they have some beauty products. I'm sure we can look through more. I don't have Facebook to actually look at, but you can do some spot checking here, check it on Amazon, see if they're third-party listed products, and then you can add them to your list and move on. Now, we'll look at a couple more on Yellow Pages, but I really want to dive into Google as that's the best place to actually find these distributors long-term. Edwise Beauty Supply, Salon Services and Supplies, Salon Centric, that could be good. These guys do have some big brands, which could be helpful. I'm not sure if these guys might be a company that only sells to beauty suppliers, but you can check that out real quick. So you can view their catalog and see what's going on with their stuff. I'm sure there's an FAQ where you might be able to see some info about this stuff. Maybe this is one to add, but I'm gonna go off of Yellow Pages now and go back to Google. We typed in this search term of health and beauty wholesale distributors, Washington. So now we're gonna wanna go through Google, and I'm talking pages of Google to find distributors. You're also gonna wanna keep track of all your search terms. You could make this another tab on your Excel sheet in order to find out what search terms did I use, how many pages down Google did I use. That way you really know what you're looking at. And if you go back and you say, I went on health and beauty wholesale distributors, Washington, down 10 pages. Okay, next time, check to see if they're the same and then start on page 11. So now we're gonna wanna open these guys up in a new tab. We're gonna wanna keep going. This is another search that we can do via the Google Maps. However, we're gonna skip that for this one. We're gonna look Washington Beauty, supermarket distributors, bargain wholesale, One World, and we're gonna check these out real quick and see what do these guys look like in terms of wholesale. So it looks like this is business warehousing, wellness products distribution. Now let's see, what we wanna see here is what kind of products do they sell? That's really it. Let's see what their services are. Doesn't look like there's any brands on here, which means, looks like these are actually a fulfillment and distribution company. So we're gonna move on. Now here's another one, Salon Essentials. So it's a good thing that we can't see anything in terms of pricing off the bat. That's a good sign. And it looks like there was some name branded products in the beginning. We're gonna keep searching just because these weren't like ideal in terms of what I was really looking for. But they might be worth adding in because you might find something untapped on Amazon. However, this one doesn't really look that great, so we're actually gonna move on. Now these guys, SDACCS, this is a beauty wholesaler. It looks like they have Cutter, they have Hawaiian Topic, they have Gold Bond. So this looks like something that's good. And it looks like they're not based out of this area. However, they're out of New York, which I don't know how we really got them in a Washington search. However, that's the nice part about this Google search is you do find stuff that is outside of your area all the time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take their phone number, their name, their website link. I usually leave it on the contact page. We're gonna add them into our spreadsheet and then we're gonna just move right on. Now we have this, bargain wholesale. Looks like there's some wholesalers. Usually it's a red flag in terms of, the pricing being accessible to anybody. However, I know these guys are wholesalers and this is not awful in terms of like what the pricing comes to because I do know the Dove pricing pretty well. So this is something that we're gonna wanna add in. Again, same thing, get their contact phone number. We have their phone number, we have their website name, we have their name. Let's add that into our sheet and then move on. Now, One World, I believe these guys also sell name branded products. These are the things we're looking for. We're looking for seeing the big brands right in front of us on their home screen, knowing that they actually only sell to businesses. It looks like these guys are discount for convenience stores and they say they do Amazon. That's not a great thing most of the time. However, it's not a bad thing just to try it out. So this would be another one that I would add onto my list as well. We're back to Google now, so we can look at something like this. We have Great Lake Wholesale. We have this one. I know min-max deals suck, so we're gonna skip them. And then we'll try one more search term. So now we see Great Lakes Wholesale, and we can go through here and see they have a $750 minimum. That's great. They have a lot of big brands, it looks like. So we're gonna, again, do the same thing. Add their name, add their phone number, add their email address, their website, move on. Now look, this one that brought us right to the brands. So I don't know any of these brands, so we could do a little example of a spot check on Amazon. So we'll go to Amazon.com and we'll just type in some of their brands. So Keratin Complex, let's see. Let's just see what happens when we type in Keratin Complex. And then that looks similar. Now, what kind of sellers are on this? Looks like Amazon sells it themselves. There's no other third-party sellers. We are on a incognito browser, so I don't have Keepa to give me more info, but we'll spot check a couple more. just to make sure, because if they have there's third parties, that means that this is a go. Looks like this doesn't have a third party. Doesn't have a third party. Okay, let's try one more brand. Let's try Hair Fix. There we go. That's Hair Fix. Doesn't have a lot of reviews, but you never know. And some brands like this could be something that you might even be able to go direct with long term. So let's see. Looks like they're the only ones on here. That's not a great sign. We're going to move on from that brand. We'll try one more. Let's try Grow MD. Oh, here it is, Grow MD. Oh, look, they sell it themselves, and it looks like there's no other third-party sellers. So it looks like this brand or this distributor is not going to be great. So we're going to move on from here. Let's check out 4GSM. Let's see what type of stuff they sell. Looks like they have some Dove. Look, remember we saw it for 89 cents on the other site. Now we saw it for 85. That's a good sign. Paw Patrol. These are all big branded products. So again, with this one, we're going to do the same thing is we're going to take their name, take their phone number, take their email, add it to our sheet and move on. Now we're going to do one more thing before we wrap this up here is we're going to do another search term. So we would write this down in our search term list and say, hey, we went through Health and Beauty Wholesale Distributors Washington through page 2. Let's just say, now let's try something else. Let's do Grocery Wholesale Distributors California for a lot of you West Coast viewers. Mike Hudson Distributing, Food Co. Directory, etc. Let's see. So Southern California. Looks like they only distribute over here, but that's not always the worst thing because you can always have your own freight and it doesn't even matter. So let's just check out their products. It looks like they have, oops, that's not what I meant. It looks like they have food, which is not really what we want. We want like grocery. If we're doing grocery, we want grocery products such as, canned goods and stuff like that. We don't want, lamb, goat, and veal per se, exotic meats, frozen food. This is not really what we're looking for. And it looks like they prioritize that stuff. So we're going to move on. Now, Mike Hudson, let's see. Products, condiments, there we go. Looks like that could be something, condiments, spices, stuff like that. Okay, now we're talking here. Cool, this is something that we want to look at. So again, take their phone number, take their email address, take their website, add it to the sheet, and move on. Now this is a list of distributors. We're going to skip that. We don't want lists. We want to find. Super Wholesale Los Angeles. Stock up on the most in-demand groceries. Now this looks like candy and snacks. There we go. Goya, yep, Nabisco. This could be helpful. So we're going to just look through real quick. Candy can be good as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take their info, again, put it on our sheet and move on. So now this is the process when finding wholesalers using my favorite method of Google. You're going to want to go through different search terms like we've gone over, plug and play with different states, different categories, different wholesale words, etc., and try and go through everything. You're going to want to build a list of at least 100, 200, 300 wholesalers before you start contacting. For the best efficiency, although it might not seem like it, do all your research in one shot, then do your contacting in one shot, open up a couple accounts, then do your research and place orders. That's the process that you're going to want to follow. So if you need more help with finding distributors or the best processes to find distributors, make sure you click the link down below and join our free Discord community. That's going to allow you to connect with other 6, 7-figure Amazon sellers and allow you to get best practices on how you can grow your Amazon business for the long term. That's it for this video, and thank you for your business.